You've decided you're ready to become a parent, and suddenly you're overwhelmed with people who feel they have the right to inform you on the correct way to conceive, give birth, what fears you should have, and the proper way to parent. How do you filter through the opinions? How do you know what's trustworthy information and what's a myth or just plain outdated? Welcome to the Birth Ease podcast. Join your host Michelle Smith and her guests as they cut through the noise and fear by sharing valuable tips, tools, and proven methods that help you connect with your own inner wisdom as you navigate the sacred journey that is pregnancy, birth, and parenthood in a more relaxed and confident manner. This podcast does not constitute, nor is it intended, as medical advice.
Hello, and welcome to the Birth Ease podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Smith. With Thanksgiving fast approaching, it is my sincerest hope that this special episode will be a reprieve for those of us that are facing the holidays after experiencing a loss. This time of year can be magical, and at the same time, there are images and expectations of happy family get-togethers and the pressure to keep up with the parties, gift-giving, and years of tradition. My intention is to create a safe space to simply relax into and honor what is there for you. There will be a meditation at the end of this episode to help create a safe haven in time of loss, grief, or transition. For those of us grieving, it can feel almost as if the world is going on around us, blissfully unaware of the significance of our pain and our loss. The world is unaware of the shift in our newfound perception of what really matters to us. The experience of grief may take the form of the death of a loved one. It may be the loss of a relationship through breakup, divorce, or separation. It may be a move that now has you far from family and friends, or a major life transition. The grief may be from the wounding we experienced from past painful holidays. This loss may be very recent, or it may be from years ago. For myself, I became pregnant around Thanksgiving and knew that I was pregnant from the moment I conceived. I was so excited to share the news that we were expecting our second child. I found the most beautiful Christmas cards and joyously began signing our names along with the words, "and baby." This was to be the way I would announce the pregnancy to our friends and family. Unfortunately, I became very sick with the flu and ran a fever. Then, the unthinkable happened. I experienced a miscarriage. I was devastated. The gorgeous angel Christmas cards were never sent. I felt robbed. The joyous Christmas we had anticipated was gone. I had to balance my extreme grief and also care for our 4-year-old daughter. I felt I needed to preserve the magic of Christmas and Santa for her through this veil of pain. For those of us facing the holidays after pregnancy loss or the loss of a child, the very holiday itself becomes a trigger. Images of children celebrating with Santa are everywhere. Images of children lighting the menorah. Mother Mary giving birth to baby Jesus. Reminders, all reminders of the child we no longer can hold, watch grow, laugh with, cry with. All of our hopes and dreams gone. For myself, the grief softened with time. I have been blessed with more children and now have grandchildren. And yet, my body knows. A sadness can wash over me mid-December, and I am reminded. I remember. It has been almost 30 years. I pause, and I honor my grief. I can reconcile my grief, but the loss is a part of me now. When someone we cherish dies, their absence is deeply felt, most significantly during those first few years. The thing is, a loss changes us, it changes our traditions, It changes our routines. It creates a void that was not there, and our heart and our mind search for those traditions, for the comfort of the connections that those rituals can bring. We can feel so lost. I think this can also be true when we've experienced a divorce and are facing a major holiday without our children. The pain can become quite acute. You may be resentful of your former spouse for leaving your family and forcing this painful situation upon everyone. You may be extremely angry at your former partner for the hurt it is causing you and your children. If you are the one that initiated the divorce or separation, you may be feeling guilty for the upheaval that your family is now experiencing, especially during the holidays. If you celebrate Christmas, you may be facing Christmas morning alone. Your heart may be filled with sadness that you are unable to share in on the joy of watching your children open their presents from Santa. You may feel relieved and resentful all at the same time because you have so little money and your child's other parent can create that Christmas morning in a more abundant way. You may be spending the day with your family, friends, or a new partner, but inside you are missing your children. There is still a void, a loss, a change, and perhaps a longing for the way things used to be. The years of holiday tradition and family connection and the comfort that that familiar routine brings. Like any loss, you may be attempting to put on a brave face for your children so that they can enjoy the magic of the season. But inside, your heart is broken and hurting. Perhaps your heart and your children's hearts are hurting because of family drama and conflict. Maybe your former in-laws or your own parents and family are speaking ill about you to your children or in front of your children, thoughtlessly immersed in their own pain, opinion, and drama. Perhaps your children are caught in the crossfire of the pain and hatred spewing forth from adults. Maybe you were once that child, forced into that situation. Perhaps your family were or are kind to one another, yet there is still that constant void of missing a parent as a child, or the awkward tension of trying to get along for the kids as an adult. For some of us, we carry all of that with us. The holidays may trigger feelings of sadness, anxiety, and overwhelm. And now we are facing a holiday season without someone we love. For my family, this year has been one filled with joy with the birth of new babies, which can make the season much more bright, as they say. And yet, it has also been an incredibly difficult year. My little girl will be facing her first Thanksgiving and Christmas without her father. He needed to move home to the Caribbean to help his father. She also unexpectedly lost both her paternal grandma and her maternal grandma within 6 months of one another. We as a family are newly heavy and raw with grief. My child's father and I have lost our mothers. My father has lost the love of his life. My children, beloved grandmas. The holidays feel incredibly daunting. We don't really want to do anything at all, and yet I feel my 11-year-old needs the magic of Christmas now more than ever. My grandson is 4. 4-year-olds are just beginning to be able to take in all the wonder of the holidays in a deep way. How exciting to share that with a new baby brother. And yet, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and David Kessler ask in their book on grief and grieving, how can you celebrate togetherness when there is none? When you have lost someone special, your world loses its celebratory qualities. Holidays only magnify the loss. The sadness feels sadder, and the loneliness goes deeper. The need for support may be the greatest during the holidays. To that end, I thought I would share some tips in which those of us that are grieving a loss or facing the challenges of stressful family dynamics during the holidays can cope with it all. Because even if we're not grieving, family and friends can attempt to dictate how the holidays should look and how the family should and shouldn't celebrate the holidays. However, when you are grieving any sort of loss, now more than ever, be kind to yourself. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. You need only do what you feel capable of. Nothing more. It really is okay to put yourself first. I would suggest surrounding yourself when possible with those that can honor your grief and allow you the freedom and vulnerability to cry, laugh, be sad, leave early if you need to. Someone that can witness your grief, hold that space, and allows you to be authentic. Some people fear crying in public, especially at a religious service. However, it's usually better to allow those tears to flow. Be gentle with yourself and don't expect too much of yourself. Worrying about crying is an additional burden. And if you let go and cry, you'll probably feel better, and it need not ruin the day for other family members. But it can provide them with the same freedom to express their feelings. Now, if you have a relative that is constantly saying cutting remarks when you spend time together, or if your relative will be unsupportive because they never liked or cared for the person that you lost through a breakup or a death, please spare yourself and avoid them this year if you can. You have permission, and it's appropriate to care for yourself. Even if your relative believes your mother was so awful that she wasn't worth grieving over, or your relative may have witnessed your brother's wife being cruel and hateful to him and wonders why he is so heartbroken over the divorce, what this relative thinks has nothing to do with the feelings of those who are grieving their loss. Their thoughts are irrelevant. No grieving person is comforted by hearing anyone criticize their loved ones and implying that that loved one is not deserving of their sorrow. If you are at an event and your insensitive relative is there, it's okay to avoid them. If that's not possible, find a family member that understands and will run interference for you. I have really found great value in the work of David Kessler, renowned grief expert. I appreciate on a whole nother level that he considers new grief the first 2 years after a significant loss, not the first few days, weeks, or months, the first 2 years. He says that our American culture is now grief illiterate. As someone that works with the bereaved and is heavily grieving myself, I have to agree. As a reminder, there is no right or wrong way to grieve. Grief is our inner experience of loss, and mourning is that outward personal expression of our grief. That outward personal expression can be public, it can be private. It can be a combination of both. Our journey through loss is as unique as a snowflake. As always, as I share these tips, choose the suggestions for dealing with grief around the holidays that work best for you in your situation. I love the simplicity of David Kessler's tips because those of us that are new and raw with grief need simplicity. While preparing this podcast, I found an article that listed almost 70 ways to cope with grief during the holidays. It was just too much for me to take in. So tip number 1, free yourself from any demanding rituals. While many people continue to find solace in the ritual of celebrating the holidays and religious or spiritual traditions, other grievers do not. It's okay to cancel your usual holiday celebration or not attend a family gathering if that's what feels right for you. What matters most is what you need, David Kessler says, especially during this difficult time of year. I will add that if you have experienced pregnancy or infant loss, and it feels like too much to go to the holiday events filled with new babies or children, you have permission to decline. You and your partner can plan to just stay home and honor your grief. Watch a movie. Remember and honor your baby. Or go away as a family, especially if you have other children. You can make it special for them and honor your grief. The same goes for giving gifts or sending holiday cards or anything else a person usually does for the holidays. The year of my miscarriage, I packed those beautiful angel Christmas cards away. I could not bear to throw them out, and at the same time they were very painful to look at. A few years later, I saved one of the cards with our signatures in it as a tangible connection to my child. I then created a garland from the remaining cards as a way to honor my babe. If it feels like too much pressure to give gifts as it does for my family this year, you can simply pardon yourself from the task and remember there is always next year. For my family, we are just not up for the pressure and the cost of holiday gift rituals this year. We will be focusing only on my youngest child and the grandchildren. Remember, you can choose what works and doesn't. You don't have to cook and prepare the holiday meal. For many grievers, their faith provides great comfort and community. For others, especially if the loss is new, they may be angry at God and questioning their faith. If that is the case for you, you can take a year off. You can even cancel a holiday. With time, you may find that you create new holiday rituals. Tip number 2. Don't let others' opinions of how you should cope compound your grief. Friends and family will have lots of well-meaning opinions and suggestions on what to do to get through the holidays. But David Kessler reminds grievers that they don't have to accept or follow those ideas. Thank them, and then find your own way to do it, he recommends. Setting aside others' opinions will be especially hard for those that are used to pleasing others, but doing so will allow grievers to attend to their own grieving and do what's best for them. Remember, no is a complete sentence. You should not have to do anything you don't want to do or don't feel ready to do. And the wonderful thing is, you don't have to explain it. No, thank you works really well. If you are wanting to spend the holiday alone and dread answering the question from friends, family, and even strangers of what you are doing for the holidays, you can simply say that you are planning a small, intimate gathering. No one needs to know that it will only be you or perhaps one other person. Tip number 3. Include the loss in the holiday. David Kessler reminds us that loss and the holidays have a symbiotic relationship. They exist together. That's why he suggests grievers first tend to their loss and give themselves permission to do things in honor of their loved one, whether that means reaching out to support groups, going to the cemetery, or even dedicating time to share memories of their special person on social media. I really appreciate his advice to take time to honor our loved one in the morning before tending to the rest of the holiday celebrations or obligations. It is a powerful way for the bereaved to recognize and embrace the grief instead of suppressing it. Include the loss into your holidays. The grief is there anyway. Light a candle in your loved one's honor. Dedicate the prayer before dinner to your loved one. Have everyone at the table share a favorite or funny story about your loved one that died. Have an empty chair at the table for your loved one that is no longer there physically. There are lots of ways to remember your loved one during the holidays. Cook their favorite food. This can be especially nice to honor your beloved if you are attending a holiday event where no one knew your loved one. Listen to their favorite songs. Take part in their favorite traditions. Share memory books and photos. At your place of worship, remember them in prayer. Hang an ornament on the tree in your loved one's honor. This can be especially helpful when we have experienced perinatal loss or the loss of a child. It's also a simple way for children to honor those that they have lost. You may want to encourage your children to make something meaningful, such as a holiday card or special gift specifically for your loved one. Decide as a family where these items should be placed during the holidays. Your children might want to place them under the tree, on the fireplace mantle, or in their room. Some children might want to take these items to the cemetery. Some people find that contributions to charities, hospitals, or hospices, synagogues or churches, or other organizations provide meaningful memorials for their loved ones that have departed, especially if it is an organization that was important to your loved one. Tip number 4. Help people understand you're okay with talking about your loved one. If grievers would like to talk about their loved ones during the holiday, but notice their loved one's name is missing from the dinner table conversation, David Kessler encourages people not to suppress their wish to talk about their special person. Sometimes, he says, you might have to be the one to begin that conversation. Friends and family love sharing stories and memories, he says, but they want to know it's okay to do so. He suggests grievers give those around them cues that they would like to talk about their loved one, like mentioning how much they miss that person or recollecting a time they did or said something memorable. Doing so signals to others that it's okay to talk about the person who is gone. This is especially important when you have experienced pregnancy loss. Others around you may not want to upset you by mentioning your baby. And since they don't have the same relationship that you had with your baby, they can't share stories to remember your child along with you. If you want to talk about your baby, encourage friends and families to say your child's name if you have named your child, and let them know that you would like to include your child in the celebrations. It can be tricky though. Some grievers are not ready to talk about their loss. This seems to be especially true when someone has experienced a recent breakup or a painful divorce. That grieving person may not be ready to hear about how much their ex will be missed or how wonderful they were. If someone is angry or sad about the end of a family member's relationship, it is vital that they go outside of the family for support to work through those difficult feelings. A holiday get-together is not the place to share that. Tip number 5. Have an exit strategy. Have a plan A and a plan B. Plan A is that you go to the holiday event with family and friends. If it doesn't feel right, have your plan B ready. Plan B may be a movie you both liked, or a photo album to look through, or a special place you went to together. Many people find when they have that plan B in place, just knowing it is there is enough. David Kessler also recommends that should you decide to attend a holiday event, keep an exit strategy in mind, just in case you find yourself growing emotionally overwhelmed. Remember, you don't have to stay. If possible, drive yourself to the event. Ideally, explain to the host ahead of time that while you would like to attend, please understand that you may need to leave at any point. If that is not possible, feel free to say that you just wanted to stop by or you have another event to get to. You can even text yourself if you need to. I received this text and I need to go. Tip number 6, pay attention to the children. They are often the forgotten grievers. We think since kids seem so busy in school and with play that they are fine, and the focus tends to be on the grieving adults. But children feel the grief and have less life experience and tools to deal with the loss. Heather Stang has these excellent suggestions and tips for supporting a child through grief during the holidays. Find what works best for your family. Please don't pretend the death didn't occur. No one forgets that someone they love is missing. Pretending that everything is fine will not temper the pain. It will only add confusion to what is already a disorienting situation. Instead, talk openly with your child about how you both feel and how you miss this important person this year. This sends a clear signal to the child that talking about their feelings is encouraged and that you are a safe person they can lean on. With a recent loss, allow this year to be different. Trying to pull off the perfect holiday situation and celebration will likely only cause your child and you more stress. If you are facing financial hardships, allow there to be fewer gifts this year. If you don't have the energy to cook a meal for the whole family, order out. Go to someone else's home or make reservations. Children are sensitive to your stress, so please don't take on more than you can. Balance new and old traditions. If a child's mother died and is the person that would usually read the night before Christmas to the family on Christmas Eve, what do? Skip it? Have someone else read it? Instead of trying to figure it out on your own, ask the child what they want to do. There isn't a right or wrong answer, and this way you empower your child to share their feelings with you as well as tap into their own ability to do grief work. This allows you to keep the traditions that work, let go of those that don't, and create new ones because you want to, not because you have to. Ask them how they would like to remember their special person during the holidays. Whether creating a holiday decoration using photos of their special person, writing a letter to put in the deceased person's stocking, or baking their favorite cookie recipe, there are countless ways to weave memories into family gatherings. Let the child weigh in on what they would like to do, and you will have a great opportunity to teach them the power of remembering and honoring those we love. Consider age-appropriate volunteer opportunities in honor of this special person. If the person who died supported a cause, see if you can make that a part of the holiday season. Donate money or goods to your loved one's favorite charity in their honor, or find some other event where you and the child can learn more about the deceased person's passions while continuing their legacy. Stick to routines while allowing for some flexibility. Grieving children benefit from a normal routine, but the holidays alone can disrupt schedules, especially with school breaks, travel, and holiday events. To whatever extent is possible, do your best to keep a steady routine, especially with meals and bedtime. Grief can cause sleep difficulties for adults as well as children, so bear that in mind. And please note that if your child starts talking about why they miss their grandma that's no longer with them at 8:55 p.m. and their bedtime is at 9 p.m., for example, take this time to be present and listen. Balance their regular schedule with an awareness of what they need in the moment. Tip number 7, practice self-care. When we are grieving, it is important to remember to care for ourselves. We are often so weary. I know for myself that's true. Physically, mentally, emotionally. We may have devoted months or years to caretaking for our loved one. The holidays can create a sense of depletion all on their own. Although grief can interfere with our sleep, do your best to get enough rest. You need every bit of strength you can muster. Grief support groups, online and in person, as well as grief therapy can be extremely beneficial, especially around major holidays, birthdays, and anniversaries. Some bereaved people find holistic supplements such as homeopathic remedies, Bach flower remedies, and herbal formulas are a very helpful adjunct. Practices like prayer, yoga, mindfulness, tai chi, exercise, acupuncture, and spending time in nature, as well as meditation or guided imagery, can assist with the grief process. Meditation and prayer are simple ways to quiet your mind and clear away information overload. Spending even a few minutes in prayer and meditation can reduce stress and bring you back to your center, even if only for a few moments. Those few moments are valuable. Simply focusing on your breath as you inhale deeply and slowly helps alter the hormones and chemicals within your body. When we are stressed and anxious, our breathing becomes shallow and rapid. Taking several slow, deep breaths can quiet racing thoughts and still our bodies. Daily meditation has been shown to reduce anxiety, depression, anger, and even lower inflammation in the body. If you feel like you are unable to quiet your mind, guided imagery is a simple place to begin. Here is a simple guided relaxation that, if practiced regularly, can help you feel calmer in the moment. It contains affirmations that can be repeated mentally or aloud. If you find you don't resonate completely with one of the affirmations, which may happen because they are geared towards the loss of a loved one, or they don't fit your situation, please change the wording within your thoughts and mind. Make it fit your situation, your grief. If you have scriptures that speak to you at this time of grief and transition, please repeat those as well. As a gentle reminder, please avoid listening to this guided relaxation recording while engaged in an activity that requires your full attention. Please stop the podcast and return to it when you can safely be seated or reclining in a supported position. Unless you are a passenger listening to this guided relaxation with headphones on, for everyone's safety, never listen to it while driving or riding in a vehicle. Begin by closing your eyes and taking a few deep, slow breaths. Just inhale through your nose and exhale some of the stress, strain, and tension through your mouth. And again, when you're ready, releasing a bit more with each breath you exhale. Just breathing in and releasing. Taking several deep breaths just like this. Releasing, relaxing, letting go. And when you feel yourself begin to slow down and release and relax. When you are ready, switch to gently breathing in and out through your nose, feeling the air as it moves in and out. of your lungs. Take a few breaths like this. Breathing in through your nose, perhaps breathing in peace. And as you exhale through your nose, send that relaxation down through your body. And again, releasing, relaxing, letting go. And now with your next breath, inhale deeply and send your breath all the way up to your brain. Imagine sending your breath all the way up to your brain, clearing your mind, clearing your thoughts. Again, releasing, relaxing, letting go as you exhale. And again, gently, easily. Now breathe into your heart, easily and gently. Breathe into your heart. Allow your breath to create a warm feeling, a lovely glow within your heart. And again, breathing, releasing, exhaling any stress, strain, pain, heaviness of grief, and tension. Now focus on peace, calm, quiet. You can focus on the love and connection that you have for your loved one. Allow that peace, that calm, that quiet, and that love to fill your heart as you place your hands upon your heart, and allow that love, allow that peace to fill your heart, fill your body, fill every cell, every muscle, every fiber of your body now. More relaxed with every breath. Relaxing into that love and connection that is ever present. And as you do, you can repeat the following words aloud or silently, changing them or altering them in a way that suits you best if necessary, but just allowing those words to soothe your spirit, soothe your heart. Relax your body, relax your mind. I honor my grief and my loved one. I listen to my body. It knows how to grieve. It is okay to feel weary. I acknowledge and process any tough feelings with someone I trust. This time of year may trigger me. I take a breath and another. I honor what shows up for me. My tears are evidence of my love. It is okay and healthy to set boundaries with family, friends, and coworkers. I have the right to say no without explanation or justification. I care for myself so that I can care for those depending upon me. Everyone's journey of grief is unique, my own included. What is helpful to someone else may not be for me. My heart knows how to respond to this loss. My job is to keep my heart open as it heals. I may feel overwhelmed, sad, angry, foggy, and lost. That is a normal response to the loss of a loved one. There are times that I may feel I can't go on. On those days, I reach for support. There are others that understand my grief. I am not alone. I treat myself with compassion, gentleness, and kindness. It is okay to find moments of joy. I can hold on to the love and release the pain. I accept help when it's offered. I am so grateful for the time that I had with my beloved. Our bond is everlasting. I am gentle with myself as I reconcile my grief and loss. My grief will change me, and I can create meaning from this loss. I have everything I need within me to do this work of grieving and mourning my loss. I honor my grief. I honor myself. Even though my loved one is gone, our relationship and our love continues. Take a few more moments now to relax into the love filling your heart. And now, take a deep breath and send that love, that peace, that calm and quiet all the way down to your toes, all the way down to the tips of your toes. And again, breathing that love, that calm, that connection, all the way throughout your body. And know that you will carry that love, that calm, that peace, that quiet back with you. And it becomes a part of who you are, moment by moment and day by day. It's now time for you to bring your full awareness back to the room now. I'm going to count up from 1 to 5, and on the count of 5, and not before, let your eyes open. You will feel alert, focused, and renewed. Number 1, slowly, easily, and gently feel your awareness beginning to return to your present surrounding circumstances now. Number 2, each muscle and nerve in your body is comfortably relaxed as a feeling of strength and renewal flows through your mind, body, emotions, and spirit now. Number 3, each time you practice your relaxation or meditation skills, you find you relax much more quickly and deeply than before because it just gets easier and easier, so simple, so natural. And those benefits grow moment by moment and day by day. Number 4, your eyes begin to feel sparkling clear, and on the next count, your eyes will open. You'll become fully alert, spiritually calm, and at peace. Number 5, eyes open now, feeling focused, centered, and at ease, alert and ready for the next segment of your day. Thank you for listening. If you found this information helpful, please share it with your friends and family. My thoughts are with you as we navigate the holiday season together. This episode of the Birthies podcast is dedicated to Grandma Maria and Grandma Sherry. We love you always.
For more great conversations like these, or to find out more information and access Michelle's library of amazing guests, go to birthiesservices.com/podcast. For more information on the Birthies method, Michelle's classes, meditations, and other services, go to birthiesservices.com.